Rockstar Gang, what up? What up? Merry Christmas. I know yesterday was Christmas, but Merry Christmas since I didn't tell you guys Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I hope yesterday was full of blessings and gratitude and thankfulness and just all the good stuff, man. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope everyone had, again, I hope everyone literally had a blessed Christmas. I hope Santa was good to you. I hope Santa was good to you. Santa was good to me. Santa was good to me. Thanks to the wife. Wife hooked up this hoodie. The wife hooked up this hoodie. And then she hooked up the shoe game. She hooked up the shoe game, chat. And I'm wearing them right now. She hooked up the shoe game. Not going to lie. I was pretty ecstatic when I opened up and I saw these. She hooked up the shoe game. That's for sure. That's for sure. I was like, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So I was like ecstatic when I saw these. I haven't taken them off. I'm not going to lie to you. I've worn them yesterday and today. I haven't taken them off. And they're comfy. They're comfy. So, yeah. Shout out to the wife on that one. Shout out to the wife on that one. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. And again, appreciate everyone here. Let's get into this, man, because some first things first, we got to talk about some unfortunate news, stuff like that. We also got to talk about the injury report as well. We need to talk about that. The worst thing that we heard, obviously, all week. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I'm gonna the injury report here shortly. The worst thing we've heard so far, chat, is basically Tre'von Wallace, linebacker, is going to be out for the season. I don't know if anybody heard about that. It came out recently that he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. It's really unfortunate because we definitely need him here. So let me pull that. I'm going to pull up the injury report. Let me pull up the injury report real quick. So not ideal, though. Not ideal, chat. Not ideal. Hold on one second here. Get it pulled up. We're getting that injury report pulled up. So if anyone hasn't heard, yeah, Tre'von Wallace is out for the year, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate news. They're shutting him down for the year, and honestly, it does make sense though, because they're closing the book on him for the rest of the season. And while it sucks, when you go hear about the injury, it's probably the right call. They did confirm that he's going to have to go. He underwent shoulder surgery earlier this week. The procedure will sideline him again for the year. Wallace said he tried to gut. Apparently, Wallace tried to gut it out, but his body finally just tapped out. It was just like, listen, he was just like, listen, I can't do this anymore. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. If you got to have surgery on something, coming from a college athlete in myself, who basically almost had to have surgery on his knee. Thank God I didn't do it, but long story short, yeah, it's not ideal. But again, it's better for him in the long term. It's better for him in the long term. I think Tre'von Wallace has been pretty good this year. I think we can all say, Tre'von Wallace has done his job this year. He stepped up in big times. But this organization took a step back. They reevaluated that situation, and they just decided to shut him down. Now instead of just letting that injury linger in the offseason, the priority is simple: fix the shoulder, rehab it properly, get him right for spring work, right? Instead of just dragging this thing out like they did with the. I think they learned from the Tommy Tremble situation, right? I think they also learned. Maybe they also learned from um from that situation, and instead of dragging it out and risking long-term damage. And frankly, it was smart football. But again, you got to say one thing about Wallace. He has been a legit building block since he's been here, right? Like, he's been a legit building block since he's been here. He's been one of my favorite players. I think he's grown on me a lot. This isn't some like fringe rotational piece, guys. Like, this guy is a legit starter. I think he can be a starter. I think he's a legit starter, I think he can legit start on any NFL team, right? There's some linebacker cores maybe he wouldn't, but for the most part, I think we could confidently say, he is a starter in this league. He's a starting linebacker. Is he one of the best linebackers in the NFL? No, but again, he's a legit building block. He's been quietly became a core piece of this defense. It was a third-round draft pick, and for a third-round draft pick, he's pretty damn good. He has started 20 of 25 games. He's logged over 125 combined tackles. He's had two sacks. He's had four defended passes in 2 seasons. That's pretty good production. There's really been no empty snaps from him, right? More importantly, he plays with physicality. He plays with instincts. He plays with confidence. And when that confidence isn't there, because the shoulder wouldn't cooperate, you're not getting the same player. That's when injuries turn from manageable to disastrous. So it's the next man up. And Claudin Churlis is going to be the guy that's obviously going to have to be the next man up because, again, him being out for the year, but Claudin Churlis has stepped in nicely. We saw him again in the San Francisco game do pretty damn well. I think that's going to be something going forward. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, in this game, this is going to be a big time game to see how these linebackers are really going to hold up. But I think Claudin Churlis, now in his 3rd season, will step into that starting role moving forward. Churlis is not Tre'von Wallace, but nobody pretending he is. But the thing about Churlis is he knows the system. He has experience. And again, we've seen him step up in games. And it won't completely blow up the defensive structure, in my opinion. At this point in the season, that matters more than chasing upside. I will say that, but the defense will adjust, and it will. It's just going to have to. Does it always? I mean, that's up to your gracious defensive coordinator, Giro Evero, to figure that out. If he does it, right? If he does it. Cheers to everyone in the chat, by the way. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Well, if anyone's joining in on the cocktail hour, a little nightcap, you know what I mean? So again, the bigger picture here is about, this is about protecting a long-term piece. I do see Tre'von Wallace as a long-term piece, not squeezing out a few extra snaps in the season that's already taken its lumps. Again, he tried to play through it from the reports. The coaching staff gave him every chance. And when it came clear he couldn't play the way he's capable of, you have to shut it down, right? That's just how it works. You can't have someone go out there, no hero ball, no macho man bullshit. Like, just a clean decision that puts the player and the future of that player first, right? And then the future of the defense second, right? And so we're going to finish the season without him. If his surgery gets him back to full strength next year, it's a loss that they can live with, right? So sometimes the smartest move is knowing when to stop fighting the wrong battle, right? And I think that's a wrong battle that you want to try to keep fighting. So, all right, let's get into the chat real quick and we'll move on to some more of the injury report. What's up, Marcos? Merry belated Christmas, Panther Nation. Happy holidays to those who don't celebrate Christmas. Absolutely. What's up, Tyrone? What's up, Hatred? What's up, NFL the Kid? What is up, Trizzy and Luke? What's going on? Appreciate you guys. Amazing K, what's up? Merry Christmas. Kenneth, what's up, man? Merry Christmas to all you guys in the chat, by the way. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. All right. What type of shoulder injury is it? That's a good question. I have no idea. All I know is it's a shoulder injury. What type of shoulder injury? I'm not sure. There might be a report out there what exactly the shoulder injury is. I don't know exactly what type of shoulder injury it is, though. All I know is it's a shoulder. That's all I know. All right, let's move on. Let's get the rest of these injuries, though. Good news. Ike Ekwuonu's back. So he'll be back out there on the field, full participant all week. Dave Canals confirmed that he's expected to return to the starting lineup this Sunday, which is good. Was he missed last week in that win against Tampa? I would say no. Right? I would say no. Like, I'm not saying that in the bad way. I thought Josh did his thing. I thought Josh Nishman stepped in fine. I thought Josh Nishman did pretty good. Now, again, do I think he's better than Icky? No. No. But did Josh Nishman step up when needed? Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, I think you need Ike Ekwonu on the field against this Seattle defense. I think if you didn't have Ike Ekwonu in this scenario, it would be a nightmare. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? But again, Tyrone McMillan's good to go. No panic required there. Just a mild concern early in the week. Popped up on the injury report. Nothing to freak out about. So he returned to the practice field, full participant Thursday, Friday. He's fine. Definitely going to need him against that Seattle secondary. Now, Trevor Wallace, we know, is out for the year. And again, Tershawn Wharton. We're going to be out with defensive lineman Tershawn Wharton for the second straight week in third straight? No, this would be third straight week in a row, right? Was it second or third? Either way, he continues to deal with a hamstring injury and did not practice all week. We know about Tre'von Wallace already. Now, the question marks. There is some questionable marks here. These are guys who are trying to get back who had injuries earlier in the year, like David Moore and Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt was limited all week because of his bicep injury that he's still trying to recuperate from. He's questionable. That's one to monitor, especially with Seattle's interior pressure. I haven't heard anything about Robert Hunt being able to play in this game. Now, wide receiver David Moore is listed as questionable despite practicing full all week with that elbow issue. Everyone else, again, practice fully, is expected to play. So, getting Icky is back is huge, right? Especially against the Seattle's defense coming in town. Tyrone McMillan being healthy keeps this offense dangerous. I do feel like Wallace and Wharton does hurt a bit. I mean, it means that defense will once again need some guys to punch above their weight. But again, Bobby Brown III stepped in, very nicely, and Claudian Turtles has had some nice highlights as well. So we've had guys step up before, and I think it can continue. We've seen it. This is a lot of late in the season football. Again, nobody's 100%. Everybody's probably sore. The teams that survive are the ones that usually make the playoffs, right? So we didn't dodge injuries this week, but they didn't get crushed either. You know what I mean? Based off this report. So now we find out if it's enough. You know what I mean? Going up against Seattle, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Claude has also had the green dot on one of the games he started this season and won. Let's see what other comments we got in here. Kenneth says, I trust Dan to draft an edge. I don't think we should go for Max Crosby. I don't see the point in going after Max Crosby either, unless you can get him for a really good deal. Doubt that, though. And I don't think he wants to lead the Raiders. I still think he truly wants to live and die by the Raiders, but I could be wrong. Is there any other shoulder injuries? No, of course there is. Dislocation, separation, torn tendons, or ligaments. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Shane. I haven't gone into the full report. Can draft an edge rusher with every draft pick. This upcoming draft still won't make a difference in this defensive scheme. It's a rotator cuff. Speaking of Wharton, we got to have a talk about him considering what he's getting paid. I think there's a couple of guys on this team we need to have a conversation about, chat. I'm not going to lie to you. My boy, we need to have a conversation about Xavier Legette. That's another guy we need to have a conversation about. Love the personality, love the human being, but the production on the field, it ain't adding up. Let's just say that. The math ain't mathing on that. Rolly, what's good, man? Merry Christmas. Again, Shane, what's up, man? I think I didn't even say what's up to you, but Merry Christmas to you. I think I've said Merry Christmas to everybody, but if I haven't, Merry Christmas. Appreciate everybody joining. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Seriously. All right, let's move on. Let's get into this. Let's get into this preview, man. Let's get into this preview. Let's get into it. Let's dive. We're going to break this down from front to back. This is a big game. We're going up against a team. We're going up against the NFC. Old school Panthers fan, what's up, man? Keep pounding. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. And happy holidays to others in here right now. Okay. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. This is a big game. It's a huge game. Like, let's be real right out the gate, chat. Let's be real right out the gate. This game might not even matter. All right, first things first. But it's a big game still, in my opinion, because you're going up against the 12-3 NFC first seed, number one. But here's the thing. The Carolina, we could technically clinch the NFC South with a win, and the Buccaneers lost to a Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins, which would be sick. And yes, the Bucs have been losing to damn near everyone lately. And we beat the Rams, right? So stranger things have happened. Okay. The odds of all that lining up is about as slim as hell. Okay. Now, if the Panthers lose, right? If we lose, next Sunday becomes a straight up division title game anyways. So this matchup against the Seattle isn't about standings. It's as much as it is about proving they can survive against an elite defense without, them lighting themselves on fire. Because make no mistake about it, man. Like, the Seattle Seahawks defense is an absolute nightmare. Seattle's defense is a absolute buzzsaw. There is really no weak spot in this defense. Okay. Seattle isn't just good. They are arguably the best defense in football right now. They are first in DVOA. And they're first in defensive DVOA. Let me see if I can find some insights on this. See if they got anything on their defense. Yeah. All right. So Let's read this real quick. Bryce Young. Okay. But here's the thing. The thing about the Seahawks defense, too, is they're fourth in EPA per play. They're fourth in success rate. And they're second in opponent's yards per play as well. There's the box score stats. There ain't no stats, right? Pro preview. So let's go back to that. Let me back up out of this real quick. So yeah, let's go down here. Let's go look at their defense. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, the Seahawks defense's overall pass efficiency, defensively, they're ninth against the pass. They're first against overall rushing efficiency, so stopping the run. They are pressure rates. They are fourth in the NFL. So again, they gave up points in a shootout against the Rams last week, but before that, 25 total points across their 3 games. So 25 points across their 3 games is crazy. That's only 8 points a game, basically. Right? Yeah, 8 points a game. So basically, out of those 3 games, they allowed 25 points, and basically, that's 8 points a game if you divide it by 3. 8.5, basically. So that's what you're going up against defensively. They like to pressure the quarterback. They like to erase the run game. They like to force mistakes. They don't give you anything easy, chat. You're playing against a defense. Against this defense, it isn't about executing your system, right? So playing against this defense isn't about executing your system. We got to execute the system, but we also got to be able to create plays, create explosive plays. You're going to have to hope that you can get the ground game against the best rushing defense in the NFL. Basically, at this point, it's about survival, patience, and not doing dumb shit. Okay? If we're going to put it bluntly and honestly, that's what it's about. Antonio, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. Keep pounding, brother, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. And happy holidays as well. So I think the first things first that these are the keys in the game down here that they have. They got player projections down here as well. You look at these key matchups and you see these matchup insights down here, the keys to the game. I think here's the thing. I think you got to run the ball, man. I do. I think you got to run the ball in this game. You're going to have to. You're going to have to rely on Rico. Perfect. This is a perfect example. This guy right here, him and Chuba Hubbard are going to have to be key pieces in this game. They're going to have to be. Yeah, Benchy, he's out. This is not optional. I need the Rico Dowdle and the Chuba Hubbard. You remember the game that we had when Steve Wilkes took over? I need the Chuba Hubbard that played in that game, and I need Rico Dowdle to turn into that Deontay Foreman. That's what I need. I think we broke a franchise record in rushing yards total, just from an offensive standpoint. I'm pretty sure that was the game. I need that. It's not optional. When we are total. I'm being completely honest with you guys. We are completely overmatched talent-wise. I'm just being for real with you guys. We are. I picked us to win this game, and I'm going to still stick to it, and I'll tell you why. So I know that was kind of a spoiler, but I'll explain why. You're going to want to stick around when I tell you why. But we are overmatched talent-wise. The single most important thing is you can do is reduce the number of possessions. So what I mean by that is like every extra drive, right, is another opportunity for like Seattle to break the game open, right? So that means that we've got to grind out these positive yards on early downs, right? Another thing we have to do is avoid those second and long and third and forever type of plays. And we just got to stay on schedule, right? Bleeding that clock. So this is one of those rare games where time of possession is actually going to matter. I'm just telling you, it's gonna. If Carolina wants to win this game, I hate to say it, you're gonna have to play a little bit of boring football. Like in this game, boring football is winning football. Like long drives, shorten the game, quiet the crowd, keep right. Or well, you want to keep the crowd since we're at home loud. But what I mean by that is keep Seattle's offense on the sideline where it can't hurt you. Yes, that also means you're going to have to be aggressive on fourth downs. I need Dave Canales to be Dan Campbell. Well, Dan Campbell, like I need Dan Campbell aggressiveness. Like I need him to show me he has a set of balls. All right. And knows that he has a set of balls and knows how to be aggressive. Right. Because if you punt the ball back to Seattle, you're basically inviting them to score. Right? You're basically inviting them to score. So run the damn ball is my first thing on offense. Let me get to my boy down here. Where is he at? Damn. Hold on. Where is he at? Where are you at, my guy? Where are you? Christmas. There you are. Next guy, Bryce Young. Yeah, come closer. Dang it. Where'd he go? There he is. All right. You're going to have to make life easier for Bryce in this game. Like, seriously, this is not a game you want Bryce Young to play hero ball in, chat. Like, Seattle's pass rush is relentless, bro. And if Carolina lets Young sit in that obvious passing situation, things will go sideways fast, right? The offense has to help him out by, using quick game concepts, right? And if anybody knows what quick game is, it's mainly quick slants, hitch routes. You get the ball out quickly, right? Get the ball out of his hands as fast as you can. Design shorter, high percentage throws. You're going to have to mix in some screen and RPOs in this game. This is a game where you might want to get Jimmy Horn. You need to get Jimmy Horn Jr. more involved. Getting the ball out fast. Also, this is a game where I think you need to put Tedero McMillan in the slot. Yeah. Like move him in there, right? Throw some misdirection, some motion as well. But the goal is keeping Bryce from getting hit, right? You need to keep Seattle from teeing off. You want to keep them on their toes, man. Long developmental plays are a great way to get your quarterback murdered, right? You can't have that in this game. You can't have that in this game. Seattle ain't going to allow you to do that, right? This is a different Seattle team, all right? This is a different Seattle team. But when you look at this overall efficiency, man, like from these teams, like from this Seattle team, you look at the matchups up here, you look up the matchup of key advantages and stuff like that, passing and rushing and all that, man. Like, look at this. Look at Seattle. They're nearly top 10 in every category besides short passing. And, okay, short passing with versus no blitz, and passing versus no play action. I mean, in every category from the defensive standpoint, Seattle is top 10, basically, besides 3 categories. I mean, their defense is absolutely stacked. And then you go look at the offense, they've got their advantage on every single one of these categories as well. I don't think we have one, except no advantage, no advantage. So basically, they're saying it's a tie. So again, when you're looking at this, it tells you that offensively as well, don't turn the ball over like at all. Yes, I get it that applies to every game every week, but this one is different. This one is more than usual here. Like Seattle lives off mistakes. Their pressure forces rushed throws. Their secondary jumps routes. Once they get momentum, it snowballs fast, man. Like if Carolina if this offense turns the ball over, it completely wrecks the entire game plan. Right. So you gotta kill, turnovers are gonna kill long drives. It's gonna hand Seattle short fieldage, right? It's gonna race to time of possession of advantages. And so, and then it's going to turn close games into blowouts. So, if we want any chance to win the to win this game, you have to win the turnover battle, chat. Like one careless giveaway could be the difference between hanging around and then and then this team getting buried. All right, like I'm being dead ass. But here's the thing. I'm going to say this too. Like from a standpoint, like I need some explosive plays. You can't dink and dunk forever. Like that's the thing. I need some explosive plays from this team, man. I need some explosive plays from Bryce Young, from Tedero McMillan, from Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, Jimmy Horn Jr., Jalen Coker. That's where I need some explosive plays. Like that's here's the tricky part. Yes, Carolina, I get it. We need to, sustain drives. But we cannot watch 12 plays down the field every single time because we can't have 12 play drives and then not have any points on the board. And we've seen that before. Especially you're going up against a different breed of a defense here, right? And that's just not realistic. Like this defense it probably is the best defense we'll face all season. Unless we meet them again in the playoffs somehow, some way. But this is by far going to be the best defense we go up against. And this might be the best defense in the NFL at this point. But we have to pick our spots, right? And hit a few big plays, right? Just like they did against the Rams, because those short plays off play action, those deep completions on key downs, take advantage of a defensive, aggressive defense, right? Those chunk plays matter because you can flip the field position with those. You can shorten up the drives, reduce the number of must-win snaps, right? You need fireworks in this game. You obviously need a few explosive moments to put some real points on the board. And again, like I said, I want to see Dave Canales, especially with Bryce Young, use some misdirection, right, to slow that pass rush, right? Because Seattle's front seven, they are very aggressive. But sometimes that aggressiveness can hurt them because it kind of gets them borderline reckless. And that can be used against him. So I think, again, that's why I talk about the screens, the motion, the misdirection, the quick throws. You can slow down that pass rush. It can force defenders to hesitate. It can create yards without blocking perfectly. So we don't need to overpower Seattle. We need to outthink them just enough to stay alive and win the game, right? Because again, the matchup problems in this game for us that we can't ignore is Seattle's pressure. They generate pressure at again, let's go look at it. Back up a little bit here. I think they generate pressure pretty well. Pass versus no pressure. They're ninth in the NFL. Overall passing efficiency there. Passing versus pressure, though, they're seventh in the NFL. So putting pressure on the quarterback, they're seventh in the NFL. They generate a high pressure rate, which means that Carolina's protection schemes and pocket management is going to be is going to have to be clean, right? So one blown assignment can end a drive or worse. But defensive talent, let's not sugarcoat it. Seattle's defense is better than Carolina's offense. That reality makes efficiency despite non-negotiable, if we're being completely honest. What's this? Oh, sorry. Someone was trying to call me. Let me get to some of your comments real quick. Wallace is out. Yes, sir. Benji. What's up, man? Just tired of this stupid Rico up the middle. Just let him run to the outside. We all saw what happened versus Miami and Dallas. I don't disagree with you, Benji. Dave has to make the run game work, then let Bryce do Bryce kind of things and allow him to be mobile and get the ball out quick. I can't disagree with that either. This game is winnable, but we have to play damn near flawless football. Yep. Think JC Horn should shadow JSN. I think so too, Amazing K. But again, that is on your wonderful defensive coordinator, Ejiro Evero. It's really up to him. It's really up to him. And we'll talk more about the defense, And again, I want to say this too for for our team, for the Panthers. Red zone. If you're in the red zone, field goals aren't going to cut it, man. We have beaten good teams this season because they finish drives. Against Seattle, every red zone trip has to end in 7. You're not getting unlimited chances, so you can't afford to piss away points. All right. You can't afford to piss away points in this one. All right. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. What's up, Brett? Appreciate you joining, man. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. Glad to see a Hawks fan in here. I'm cool with it. I want more other fan bases in here anyways. All right, let's break down this defense. Let's break down what this defense needs to do against this Seattle offense. Because, again, I'm not expecting us to walk into Bank of America Stadium and shut these guys out, right? Or shut down, Seattle, right? That's just not how NFL works, man. Anyone selling that idea is lying to you. This defensive matchup isn't about dominance. It's about damage control for us. All right. It's about discipline. It's about finding just enough chaos to really tilt the game to your side. Right. Because again, Seattle's offense is very real. They're very well balanced. They're very physical. They are built to punish defenses that can't get off the field. Not ideal. All right. So, again, Seattle's offense is a machine. The goal is to slow it, not kill it. You got to slow it down, not kill it. Because Seattle, what they want to do is one thing above all else is stay balanced. They want to run the ball early. They want to force our linebackers to step up. And then they want to carve defense apart with play action with Sam Darnold, right? And JSN. So if we can stop the run, if we can't stop the run on early downs, this is going to turn into a long, miserable afternoon at 1 o'clock at Bank of America Stadium. Now, for Seattle, the play action is the engine that makes everything work. Once linebackers hesitate, Seattle attacks those soft zones. Because you know how I feel about our soft zone defense here in Carolina. They like to attack the middle of the field. They like to tackle verticals layered behind the linebackers. If our defense lets this Seattle offense dictate early downs, our defense will be chasing all day long. All day long. That's what they will be doing. All right. That's what they'll be doing. And another thing, like Sam Darnold is playing. Listen, call me crazy, but I think Sam Darnold might be playing better football here than he did against the Vikings. You know, this isn't the Sam Darnold people clown on from past years. Now, again, do I trust Sam Darnold? No, I don't. I do still believe that Sam Darnold that's seeing ghosts, it's still part of him. It's still part of him. But he is having his best season of his career. Over 3,700 yards, 67.2 completion percentage, 24 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. He's definitely looks confident right now, very decisive. I mean, he's got great weapons around him that actually work together. That offensive line gives him clean pockets, predictable coverages, and he can absolutely torch you, right? That's why pressure matters, right? Not reckless pressure in this game, but smart pressure. Like Sam Darnold, again, Sam Darnold is one of those guys that like has shown how vulnerability when he's forced off his first read, especially against zone looks. But we need to make him uncomfortable without blowing their coverage integrity, right? Integrity. So again, I like Sam. Shout out to Sam, but he's my enemy. Well, he's our enemy on Sunday. Another one, JSN, man. Absolute stud. Again, one of the great, like, again, that Ohio State class with him, and it's just ridiculous. I don't know how all those guys were on that team, but Ohio State can get some wide receivers, man. I don't know if Ohio, who's better though all time. You go look at Bama's wide receivers versus Ohio State. You might give the edge to Ohio State, but then you got to think about LSU too. OBJ, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors. LSU had some too. It's just crazy to think about like where these wide receivers come from, man, and like what school they went to. But again, I'm gonna say this right now. JSN is right now the best wide receiver in the NFL. Right now, he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. Not even close. I'm just talking about right now, the way he's playing right now. I'm not saying He's better than Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he's better than Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying he's better than those guys. He's better than them right now. But he is going to be our biggest defensive headache in this game, right? He leads the entire NFL in yards. So he does damage in the worst places. The slot, he can cook you in the middle of the field. He again, against soft zone coverage, he's going to cook you, right? If Ejiro Evero just lets him run free inside, this game is going to get ugly. That means that Ejiro Evero needs to run a lot of bracket coverage. He needs to put some physical jams at the line and force Darnold to throw the outside numbers, right? Letting JSN just play ball is how you give up 10 catches for 140 yards and wonder what the hell went wrong. So, what up, Marcos? Appreciate you, my guy. Shout out to everybody in the chat again. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. You think we can play man coverage or are we stuck with zone? I mean, listen, I think that if I would like to see some more man coverage, though. That's the thing. That's the thing, Amazing K. I want to see a little bit more man coverage. I like to see JC Horn go up against JSN one-on-one and man. I'd like to see that. Do I think it's a great idea? No, I think you need to play off a little bit on JSN. But I do think that you play man on JSN would and get a little physical with him. You know, if I think JC Horn could get in his head, but again, will we see it? I don't know, because I haven't seen our defensive coordinator make much adjustments this season, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we need. We need Casper the Ghost to come out for Sam Darnold. And, you know, he thinks JSN's running over the middle of the field, but he's not. He's going up the seam. You know, that's the type of shit we need from Sam Darnold. We need Casper the Ghost to come out. Brent, we're pretty, from an offensive standpoint, I would say we're pretty well balanced. From an offensive line standpoint, our offense, let's see where our offensive line is ranking. I don't even know where Carolina Panthers offensive line ranks. We're pretty well balanced. Let me see where we're ranking at right now, Brent. That's a good question. Yeah, right now, we are around top 10, top 11. So, which means, so right now we are, according to PFF, we're top 10. According to FTN, we are ranked number 8. So our offensive line, yeah, we're top. We're pretty solid in all areas. So we're top 10, top 11, but in the run and the pass. So top 10, top 12, I would say. Time to bring out the, yeah. Okay, there we go. Going to tell you right now, Sam will throw a pick or two. We've only had 2 games without picks. We just accepted it. Okay. Well, if he does that, then we might have a chance. Maybe, hopefully it's 2, not just 1. We need 2. I'll take 2. That can only happen if we get pressure on Sammy. Yeah, we'll see. Can't wait till Sunday. Me neither, Jeff. All right, let's get back into it though. Defensively, let's talk about this run game. Now, I know that I know Seattle isn't the biggest run team, at least from my knowledge, because I'll tell you this. at least from what I know of, because I had Kenneth Walker on my fantasy team. Wasn't that great. But the run game, um, they like to pound the ball. They like to pound you to death, right? They like to pound the rock with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I feel like the run game for Seattle lately has came alive a little bit more, but you know, Charbonnet and Walker, they give that a punishing complimentary run game that keeps defenses honest. It will, and when they get going. Um, but if here's the thing: if we're getting gashed on first and second down, that's when Sam Darnold play action becomes lethal. That's when the third downs become short and manageable for Seattle. The defense never gets to dictate the terms there. So this is where our front seven has to earn their paycheck. So A'Shawn Robinson, Derek Brown, and Bobby Brown III. I do expect them to stop the run. I do think that they can stop Seattle's run game, and that's just no knock on Seattle. I just trust Derek Brown and the rest of the defense to get the job done from the run game standpoint. Because again, our front seven in this game has really improved, if we're being honest. Like if we're talking about this, our front seven, our front seven has really improved. But this is a pretty good test. But I will say, it has been better this year. We're stronger. We're more physical, way more consistent. Derek Brown has helped turn this unit into something respectable because I think he's a leader on that defensive line. I think he's a communicator on that defensive line. He lets guys know if they're not in the right places. He keeps everybody accountable, but it's also he keeps it respectable, right? But this front seven, I do want to see from a pressure standpoint, you're gonna have to set the edge, right? I mean, you're gonna have to set the edge, and yeah, we're gonna have to set the edge because hold on, I'm trying to find our defense here. There it is. Like, we're gonna have to set the edge. We're gonna have to fix gaps cleanly, avoid getting washed out of run lanes. You're gonna have to force Sam Darnold in this offense into long down distance situations. Like, if you can't stop the run early, everything else is gonna fall apart on us. Like this defense has to earn predictable passing downs if they want any shot at success in this game, right? So pressure without panic. I think Seattle's offensive line is strong. It generates an elite pressure rate of its own, which means Carolina can't afford to have these busted coverages, or we can't have these over aggressive blitzes, right? The goal isn't sacks at all costs. It's about disruption. You need to force Darnold to reset his feet, hold that ball a beat longer, right? Make a second read throws under pressure, right? Again, he has thrown 6 interceptions in 2 games against the Rams, which proves mistakes are still there, but only if the defense forces them, right? Only if defenses, forces them. So, because here's the thing too, chat. What Seattle wants if they want to close this game is Seattle wants one thing. They want to force Bryce Young to high pressure situations. They want to let their defense hunt turnovers, and they're going to let Sam Darnold manage the game and finish it. That's why I'm saying that these early stops and limiting possessions are so damn important, because we don't want this coming down to a last minute drive if they can help it, right? I don't want to see Bryce go down. I don't want to have a heart attack watching this team try to go down the field and win a game. I just don't. Right? Right. But again, what success actually looks for our defense? Our defense doesn't need perfection. They need control chaos. That means force 1 or 2 turnovers, limit explosive plays, make this Seattle offense earn long downs, tighten up in the red zone, right? Long drives, increase the odds of Seattle screwing up eventually. When I mean Seattle, Sam Darnold. We know he can screw it up. But if we let this team drive down the field and get these quick scores, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Right? But again, on paper, I'm going to say this. When we look at it on paper, which you've already seen it, on paper, I'm just going to say this, chat. Seattle's the better team. They've got the record. They got the weapons. We've got the home field advantage. But see, football doesn't give a shit about paper. Carolina has proven they can beat an elite NFC team when nobody expects them to. Seattle's coming off an emotional overtime win. They're riding high. They're hearing all week about how I would say how they're untouchable, but they're riding high. Brent seems to be a very realistic Seahawks fan, and I appreciate him coming through. But this is a Panthers team that is loose and confident and have nothing to lose, and that makes us very dangerous as hell. And again, I'm still sticking with us. I'm taking us to beat Seattle. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think it's going to be close. I think Carolina, here's the thing. It's not going to be a clean football game by us. It's not going to be a calm game by us. It's going to be a stressful as shit game, to be honest with you. Because if we can protect the football, right, we can slow down Rashid Shaheed and basically survive JSN, force a turnover or two by Sam Darnold, slow the run just enough, right? Punches back when Seattle expects us to fold, right? Bryce Young, has one of those moments. Maybe the run game gets going. Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard finding that nice balance, like we saw against the Rams, right? Then they walk out. Then we'll walk out with another win that makes absolutely no sense. And sometimes that's exactly how football works, and that's why I'm picking them to win. So I'm sticking to it. I'm saying 27-24. The Panthers. That's what I'm going with. Regime, that dude. 8212 comes through with that $5 donation. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, my guy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through with that $5 donation. Appreciate that, man. Marcos Cash, what's good? See you in here. Inside pressure will give Sam problems. Yeah. We also let teams hang if we can't get early leads. We've let teams come back on all of our games when we led by 2 scores first half, except I think maybe 2 games where we didn't. But and our quarterback is a comeback killer, so I'm looking out for that. Yeah. Well, our quarterback has 12 winning drives, and he's the youngest quarterback to ever do that. He's clutch as hell. That's one thing Bryce Young is, and that's one thing you cannot deny from him. That is one thing you cannot deny from him, chap. So, absolutely. I appreciate Brent dropping by as well, Marcos. I really do. Again, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Of course, we're going to be here live play-by-play on Sunday. All right. Make sure you guys come through. Again, make sure you guys, hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. I hope everyone enjoyed the live tonight. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday yesterday. And I hope everybody was filled with joy and happiness and peace. And again, I shout out to everybody here. Again, If you showed up late, there's going to be a replay, man. So make sure you guys come through. And so make sure you guys come through on Sunday. Make sure you guys, if you're just joining in late, make sure you guys still come through and rewatch. We broke this game down front to back, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Other than that, guys, I will see you Sunday. Live play-by-play. I appreciate you guys as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click that post notification bell. And follow me on all my other socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Again, I would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, guys, again, see you Sunday. And I'll have some more content coming out to you guys again throughout the weekend. So other than that, I'm out. Peace.